So today we're going to be talking with our members of the Breeders Academy and kind of get an idea of what they think of the Breeders Academy, how much it's worked for them, maybe how long they've been a member, and kind of just get a feel for what it's done for them. So we're going to bring on the members one at a time, and we're going to give chat with them, and then
Cody was first.
Oh,
Cody
Lord.
and Bateman, and then Barry. But now they can go in any order they want to.
Do you want to go first, Beeman?
Oh, no, I was praying it wasn't me first.
Oh, okay. So Beeman's first. No. Okay. No. Hey, Cody, how you doing? I appreciate you coming on.
Hey, Cody.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I guess what we want to talk about today is what you think about the Breeders Academy, and maybe the first question I want to ask is how long have you been a member? I think for quite a while now, right?
Yes, sir. Since last year, I think around or before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I've been listening to y'all for, I don't know how many months before that. So I was going through YouTube one day, trying to study up on some genetics for the blues that I have, and I stumbled across one of your videos, clicked into that little section on it, and then I started finding the academy more. And once I did, man, that's all I listen to. I don't even listen to the radio no more. I get picked on at work because the chicken guy, that's all he does is listen to the chicken channel. So I do a lot of driving in between jobs. So, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour while I'm driving, I got Academy going and listening to it repeatedly. So, I mean, I learn better by listening and doing, and I'm not much on reading. So by listening to y'all talk about it, it just kind of opened up the things that I seen on my yard. A lot of the defects, like I never knew what that duck toe was. I was like, what is he talking about, duck toe? What in the world is duck toe? I'm like,
yeah, really?
I know what a duck's toe looks like, but like, what are they talking about? And this was before I become a member. So I kept listening, and he was talking about the Founders Program. I'm like, what is all this stuff? What is he talking about? I got to know more about this. So I just
did a good job of piquing your interest, didn't we?
Oh yes, very much. I like every episode that was posted on YouTube. I listened to it, trying to get little bits and crumbs of here and there. I'm trying to piece it all together in my mind with what little bit I already knew. And I was like, man, I got to know more about this. I'm going to join this. And then around Thanksgiving before the first hunt, and I was sitting there, I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and sign up for this. So I went ahead and became a member then. And ever since, I'll go through there. The last couple of weeks, I hadn't been on very much. But every night, usually I get on for at least an hour or so, and I read through a few things. A lot of stuff I've already read, I try to reread it. And
yeah, that's good. Repetition's good. Mm-hmm. It's the way I write it too. So I really believe in that. Yeah.
Hey, Cody, so I've got a question. I've got one question. Biggest question. What was the main thing that pushed you over that line on the fence to make you become a member? What was that one thing that finally gave you the momentum to go in and say, I'm going to be a member?
The Founders Program, because of the way that I was breeding and the things that I was seeing on my yard, I felt like y'all was saying, people will hit a dead end wall, or they'll start to go and freshen up the blood,
Right.
So I'm like, because I was to that point, I'm like, I was trying to find birds that the phenotypes, matched what I had, and I'm like, I gotta try to get that going. And then I kept listening more, and I just put it off. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm away. There's something I'm not doing right, and I want to know what it is. And the more y'all talked about it and the more y'all explained things just in conversation, I'm like, yeah, there's something I'm missing, and I got to find out what it is.
So when you got in there, what did you think about the Founders Program when you actually got a look at it? Without giving it away, what did you think of it?
I think that it was very well set up. And when I looked at it, I'm like, wow, I feel like this might be where I'm at. I said, but I gotta do a little more studying because I've been wanting to try to reach out to you and try to get a coaching call going. And I'm like, man, because I'm like, I don't know as much as these guys, and I don't want to sound stupid trying to talk to them about what I got going on because
that'll never happen, buddy.
No, don't worry about that.
No. You know, and like when you say about people selling birds and stuff, you know, I have a lot of extra stags running the yard, and I was like, you know, asking a few people, interested in some birds, you know, I got some extra ones here. Well, what are they? What bloodlines are they? I said, they're mine. I mean, I can't tell you exactly what they are, but I know what they was when I got them from a man, and there was a couple, like 2 or 3 different breeds into it, and I just kind of on my own felt like I've filtered that out and perfected it to what I liked. So I can't really put no name on it or call it a certain thing, but they're mine. That's all I can tell you.
That's what I would suggest that you do too.
They're instantly not interested in them no more. Oh, well, I got to have these Kelsos or this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, look, and the more I've learned and listened to y'all and started understanding more about it, those names don't mean nothing because those people ain't alive no more. And everybody does breed different. Everybody breeds different from the next person. So nothing's going to be the same.
Yeah.
We're the breeders now, not them. We're the breeders now.
I ran into the same problem you did. When I started calling mine the Maximus line, they just couldn't, it just didn't register in their head. And they just kept wanting to know more about where I got them. But I've been on another farm where I helped a member and was trying to, help him buy fowl from a particular breeder. And the guy just kept asking, are these hatch? And he go, yep. What do you think they are? And he says, hatch. And then they're hatch. Are they this? Yeah, they're that. And then the guy was like, I could, if I don't agree with him or I don't tell him what he wants to hear, he's not going to buy anything. I could tell him I've got the best bird on the yard over here. Confirmation wise, type, color, whatever the attributes that they're looking for, but they want the one with the name. And it could be one of the worst birds on the farm. And he goes, I can't sell it unless it has a name attached to it. And we allow the breeders, we set them up to actually, commit fraud against us, if you want to put it that way. You know what I mean? Because we give them no choice a lot of times. And if we can just get away from that name game, we'd be much better off. Yeah. Tell me, what's your favorite part of the website?
The podcast and the live shows and the videos that y'all have done on the Masters class videos. Masters class videos, yeah. I love watching those over and over and over.
We're doing more. We're doing more. So stay tuned.
Yep, we'll be back at it soon.
Yeah. So anything you want to say? Anything else you want to say before we move on to the next guest?
I thank y'all for all the hard work that y'all put into this and the knowledge that's accessible to everyone. Anyone who's willing to join and to soak it all up, because it's going to be a lost thing sometime soon in life, and there's people just missing out on. Man, to me, gamefowl is like the superior of all birds, and everybody needs to know something about them. Everybody needs to know something about it and how to keep that line going and to maintain them and just enjoy the breed.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more,
I feel the same way. Yeah, I feel the same way. Cody, I
have a question.
Oh, okay.
So Cody, when you first started a year ago and you were into the website compared to like last week when you were in it, have you noticed some changes, how the website has evolved in different aspects? Yeah.
I have. Last night when I got on to check my emails and I logged in through my email, when it popped up, the whole, it said activity. And I mean, it was just, I was like, whoa, am I on the right thing here? I'm like, what's going on? But I've started seeing a lot of stuff in there, and it's nice. It's very nice. There's always something new. Just when you think you found, I've seen this or I've read this, there's something else comes up, and it's never a dull moment.
I'm always trying to improve it.
He never stops.
To make it better. No, I'm always trying to make it more navigational,
he never
easier
stops.
To use, better information, the whole bit. Yeah. So we're always looking for that. Yeah. So anything else?
Yeah, that was it. That's
okay, Cody, I really appreciate you coming on and letting everybody know what you think about the website. Awesome.
Thank you for having me, and thank y'all for all the hard work that y'all do. And I enjoy it.
Well, we do it for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Y'all have a good day. Thank you.
Well, I found you on Facebook about 2.5 years ago. And I guess it's been about that way. I've been a member about 2 years now. And I give it 6 months before I, took the bait. And I wish I'd have took it sooner. It's really propelled my fowl. I mean, I actually know what I'm doing now,
Yeah. So what do you think of the Founders Program? Without giving it away, by the way.
Yeah. I love it. I love the step-by-step. And it's got secret little, well, I don't want to say it's secret, but it's things I wouldn't have thought of, and it was simple, but I was like, man, I wish I'd have thought of that, because it just made so much sense when I seen it, and I just wish I had it, 15 years ago,
Yeah. It's laid out in such a way that it just progresses you right into the foundation strain. Everybody thinks that when you just put birds together, instant foundation, that's your foundation, and there's just really cool things about it. So, I mean, what would you tell someone about it? I mean, if you were talking to someone, what would you say to them about the Breeders Academy?
I tell them, don't wait. It's worth every penny, and you're gonna get your money's worth. Don't worry about that. And like I said, I'm 2 years into it, and my fowl, once I learned how to recognize defects and actually know what they were and what to look for. I mean, I've seen them, but I didn't know that was something that could be passed on. We just kind of just chalked it up. Oh, he's ugly, and or she's got, we didn't understand that could be passed on. We just didn't breed to it. But when you understand how that can affect your strain, and you can pick it out and cull it, and just get rid of it. And another thing was the sickness that you had talked about. Instead of, I used to be, giving a shot of antibiotics for 4 or 5 days, half CC in the breast. I've done away with all that. And I'm going to tell you, Kenny, you killed half my birds about the first year. I mean, I was like, I might have messed up. I was thinking, oh Lord, I hope he knows what he's doing. But the second year, hardly any of my biddies were sick. I mean, once I killed all those sick biddies, and I killed all the sick, the ones coming up with snotty nose and runny eyes, and anything that had a cold, I killed it. And like I said, I culled through. I bet I culled 40% of my flock. And but the second year, they got a lot better. They got a lot strong. Even the chicks weren't sick. They used to get real bad. I don't know what it was, but they would get I think it was coccidiosis, but I just killed them. I just, instead of trying to doctor for it, I just got rid of them, like you said, and bred toward resistance. And I don't know what happened, but it worked. I can't explain it, but what you told me in the website and what I've read about it, and it's all coming together, and it's exciting because it's so different from what you're used to. Now you know what you're doing. You got step-by-step a guide there telling you where to go from here. You don't hit that dead end zone. You're not scared to inbreed, and it shines a light on all the myths and everything with chickens. Everybody says we were always taught, don't ever inbreed. You stay away from that.
Yeah.
And that's a no-no. And now I'm not scared of it at all. Matter of fact, you have to do that, to get where you want to be.
Well, okay. So for you, what is it like going to other people's farms now?
Oh,
now that you have all this knowledge.
Well, it's a nightmare in a way, because I'm scared. I'm scared to bring back something to my flock. I do like Frank. I go to Walmart, buy a $25 pair of tennis shoes, and put those on, and I throw them away when I leave. I mean, they're not coming on my yard. And I change clothes, take a shower, because I'm scared to death that I'll bring something back. Ever since I watched that biosecurity stuff, it really woke me up. But people the certain ones love me, but the ones that want to learn, they love me. The old timers, they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, you know, get out of here.
I hear
you
that
know,
all the time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, old school. Yeah.
I was talking to a member the other day, and I actually get this quite a bit. They go to other people's farms, look around, even some big name farms, and all they can think of is coal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if anything, it really wakes people up to the possibilities, what the truths are. You know, it kind of wipes away the old wives' tales and superstitions.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing.
Beeman, what was your deciding factor on becoming a member? I know you said you'd watched
that's a good question.
watch Kenny. So what was that deciding factor that made you say, okay, I'm going to go on and I'm going to become a member?
The deciding factor was I've been in chickens for 25 years, ever since I was 10 years old as a little boy. I mean, ever since I can remember holding a chicken, I can't remember holding my first chicken, you know, and, but I've had them for 23 years until I become a member. And it was always hit and miss. You know, we kept the strains going. We kept the blood alive. It was just, we couldn't get any consistency because we was taught breed best to the best, breed best to the best. It didn't matter what it was, breed best to the best. And although that works in a way, it never gets you where you really want. It never gets you that consistency that you're looking for. You're always going to have so much. It's like a rainbow. You're going to get different things popping up all over the board, and you can't ever tune it in. But yeah, the deciding factor, Kenny said on his podcast, if you want to, I can't remember how he worded it, but it was talking about how to get consistency out of your fowl, and it was talking about how you can make how having not being able to tell the brother from brother was a good problem to have. And I was like, I've never had that problem. You know, I need to learn this, you know. And I can tell you my fowl now that I've allowed Kenny to take the wheel. And I said, you know, this guy obviously knows more than I do about genetics. And because it took me a year of listening to y'all before I could even keep up vocabulary wise. Now I'm like, oh, I know what he's talking about. Yeah, when you say certain words, I'm like, oh, I know what that means now. But it took me a year of just listening before I was even confident enough to ask a question because you were talking over my head. You know,
well, that's why you hear me talk, and I'm repetitive. I know I am. And I think it, for the most part, it's in design because
it's good.
I want you. There's certain things that you need to know. There's certain things you need to remember. There's certain things that you need to implement into your breeding program. And so some things I'll say over and over again. I understand it. I feel like I'm a broken record. I do. And you'll see that in the programs. You'll see that in the founders program. You'll see it in the articles that you may feel, he said this up here. Now he's saying it down here again. Well, that's for a reason, right. And that's why I think you're remembering it. That's why you're starting to understand it too. So,
right. Yeah. I learned by repetitiveness. I mean, I have to read it, 2 or 3 times before it really sinks in. And then I'll think about it all day long and I'll meditate on it, and I'm just thinking about it. And then all of a sudden I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I said, that's who I need to breed that hen to. I'm thinking about it all the time in the shower, when I get up, go to work.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling. That's me.
Yeah. It's like it was like that for me too. It's like when I started really diving into evolution and really understanding how similar it was to how we breed our fowl and how important it was. It's like when I combine selective breeding to evolution to genetics, it was like all of a sudden a light bulb went off. All of a sudden it made sense. And then sometimes that's what it takes is I may do a show, and I think you guys all know what I'm talking about here, is there some people think that they can re-engineer what I teach by listening to the shows and writing it all down and understanding. Well, we leave a lot out, but what we do is we present in a way that makes you think. And you all of a sudden, like in the master's class video series and the articles, all of a sudden things will start making sense. I mean, you'll take this article, this video, and all of a sudden, I get it. Now that makes sense. Yeah.
It's a great feeling. That's a great feeling when that happens too. It really is. It makes you feel like you're going forward as a breeder when that happens.
Right.
You feel like a breeder. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Before I let you go, what's your favorite part of the website so far?
My favorite part of the website, the one that really helped me a lot, was the talking about the inbreeding and the defects. That the inbreeding and the defects it really helped me. I mean, it really helped me. And the coaching calls, man, I eat them up because those guys are asking you questions that I want to ask, but I was too scared to ask. And they really help a lot. They really help a lot.
We did a coaching call, didn't we? Me and you,
yes,
right?
Yes,
I thought we did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I thought we did. Yeah. So good. Yeah. Cause the coaching calls really changed the game. They did.
Yes. Yes, they did.
It wasn't, I didn't want it to be a website where you just went in there and got lost, that you were on your own. I wanted to make sure you guys understood what was going on. I didn't want you to be frustrated or lost. So when we started doing the coaching calls, that really did change everything quite a bit. Any questions for you guys before I
one more. Have you noticed the difference? So you've been in there for 2 years. Have you noticed the evolution of this website since you first got on here to now?
Oh yeah. If you jumped in, if I got in 2 years ago and just jumped out and come back to now, I'd be lost. I'd be like, what did he do? It has changed so much. Yeah, it's changed so much, but it's just changed for the better. It's getting simpler. You got videos to go with it. The explanations are getting more detailed, because you can tell Kenny's updating it every time we have a question. You can tell he's going back and clarifying things that he knew automatically because he's a genius when it comes to genetics. But we're having to connect the dots. And
you're making my head swell, man. I'm telling you.
Well, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad somebody like you, because I'm telling you, these old timers won't tell you a thing. You have to learn the hard way. And I was so glad when you came on and started revealing what they call secrets, which aren't secrets. It's really just basic common sense, but you will not think of it on your own. You just won't do it because you've got so much junk in your head, all these myths and stuff thrown at you that you can't untangle it.
Oh, I know. And some breeders, they do think of it secret, because there's a couple, I don't want to say what they are right here because everybody's going to hear this, but there's some things about the Founders Program that when I presented them, some people got pissed. They're like, hey, you're ruining my business. Now the repeats aren't coming. Now people are coming, they're scrutinizing my birds. They're asking me questions they shouldn't be asking. Now they're knowing how to keep their own strains going. So I get
that now.
Yeah.
I get that now. People, they're not actually mad, but jokingly they'll say, why are you, Kenny, telling people this for? Why are you teaching it for?
It's not only that, they're losing, like what you said, they're losing their business because now you're not going and buying fowl from them. You're creating your own.
Right. And you're not buying their coils. See, y'all have opened everybody's eyes. We won't buy a squirrel tail or split tail or hatchet breast or duck toe. We know what to look for, irregular pupil and, and split wing and all this other stuff that I used to not know what it was. And now, they use them old timers say, oh, well, he got picked on, but it's in the blood, take him on home. Leave him there. Leave him there.
He don't really look much. Oh, go ahead. What's that?
He don't look like much, but he'll produce good offspring.
That's their favorite line. That's their favorite line. It's in the blood. It's in the blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood.
I'm like,
in that name.
Okay. Hey, David, how you doing?
Doing good,
hey, David.
What's up, bud?
Yeah.
How you doing?
This is, you guys have talked quite a bit, but this is the first time you and I have talked, actually.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah. Have you guys done a coaching call together yet? I know you visited. You haven't done an actual coaching call?
We kind of have a one-on-one when he comes down to the farm. So we have our coaching calls here at the farm. So as we're going through on the chickens and that's all we do is talk chicken. What time he's here, not much time to talk about anything else. So we just, like me and you, Kenny, constantly talking about chickens.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. David, so what do you think of the website? How long have you been in the as a member so far?
Going on about a year, I'd say.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
It's been a while. So I'm a little bit different than everybody else. I actually used to raise fowl about 15 years ago, got out of it, and I'm starting to get back into it now. So started doing some research, found your guys' website and all that good stuff, and started listening to the podcast. And about 3 months later, I decided to join.
So what'd you think when you first got in there?
Oh, man, I loved it. It was so much knowledge at your fingertips you don't understand. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Did you find the Start Here pages useful? Did you use those?
Yeah. Yes. I started working on conformation of body, defects first, and really that's what I've been studying a lot. I've been drilling that home.
Because there's a lot of people like, God, I'm so tired. Like when they're just listening to the show, they're not actually in the website. They're like, I'm so tired of hearing about conformation of body. You just get to the nuts and bolts of breeding. Why do I care about that? And they don't realize how important that actually is.
Yes, it's very
It is
important.
part of the nuts and bolts.
Yep.
We know that.
Yeah. Yeah. We gotta make them know that though.
Yeah. Because type in
But-
conformation is the first thing you need to select for besides health. So
David's come a huge way in that just to what time I'm knowing. And he's he's making a really good eye for selection. He's got, I think he's got that gift that you get that you don't have to train yourself, that it's already there. We'll be going through my yard and he'll go, oh man, I really like that one. And, you know, he'll look, oh, I really like that one. And he's picking out all the best birds on the place. So that shows me that he's got the eye for it. So,
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So you liking the Founders Program? What do you think of that so far?
Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to start my first year this year. So I'm excited, ready to get going.
Yeah. The one thing I hear everybody likes is the Master's Class videos. What do you think of those?
I love them. That's one of my favorite parts.
You just want more of them, right?
Yes, I want them to keep coming.
They're coming.
Yeah, we're
Believe
working
me.
on them.
He talks about them all the time.
Yeah, it's my priority. I understand how important they were. I just thought it was going to be an added feature, but it turns out that it's one of the best features of the website.
Yeah, it is. I really love it.
Yeah.
So how long have you been? Go ahead.
Oh no, go on, Nancy. Go on.
How long have you been raising fowl, or is
I raised back when I was younger, probably about a 5 to 6 year period. Then I got out of it for a while, and I'm just now getting back into it. So that's what I wanted to learn: the conformation, defects, and that way, when I selected my birds, I could start with the best possible fowl.
Yeah,
that's the way to go.
Yeah,
you know, get into the into the Breeders Academy even before you start your breeding program, so that you can learn the right way.
So what would you tell someone who's interested in getting into the Breeders Academy? What would you tell them as a member?
You got nothing to lose. There's a money back guarantee. If you don't like it, you just got to try it. You know, I was kind of skeptical at first, but I'm telling you, if you just give it a try, and I promise you won't be let down at all. Cool.
Yeah. And that was a scary one for us to do, was that money back guarantee, because we were like, God, you know, what's that? What kind of doors are we opening there? But you know what? I've in the whole time, the 4 years I've had this Breeders Academy going, 2. That's it. 2.
That's awesome.
You know.
So what was the deciding factor for you? I'll ask you the same thing I asked Beeman. What was that thing that said, hey, I want to be a member?
There's a couple things. I mean, the proof is in the pictures for me. I see your guys' birds. I look at them. Everything you guys post is amazing. And I was always taught, you know, you just line breed till you hit that wall and then come back and see me. You know, I knew there had to be another way, honestly. So that's really what did it for me.
And that's where a lot of people fail, is that they think line breeding is the begin, the middle, and the end of a breeding program. They actually think it's the whole program. And that's where they get in trouble, is they do the line breeding just like they're supposed to. They got everything going really well. The strain is turning out like they're hoping. They get to the end. They didn't do a few things they should have, and now they're going and bringing outside blood to freshen them up, and then ruin everything they did. And so hey Chase, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. Hey, before we get started,
yeah,
you missing something?
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute now. Wait. He come there to work on your pins. What's he doing using jumper cables to work on the pins for?
We thought we were going to have to jump his car because it wasn't starting. And when he left them on the ground. So
I was going to say, I never seen anybody use jumper cables to fix a pin up, you know. So
yeah, that's how we charge these chickens, you know. Yeah. You get the eggs out of them. Sometimes you can't just squeeze them. You got to charge them, you know what I mean? Get those things to shoot out of those birds, you know. So
you just kind of hold the nail and you hit it.
Yeah. So, you know, Chase and I, you know, I'm anxious to hear what he's going to say, because him and I talked about the website for quite a while last night. He came over to visit with me, and we were talking about the website and what he liked about it. And he even gave me a few ideas on how to improve it, which was really cool, or gave me some ideas on how to educate people how to use the website, because there was some things that I didn't realize people were having some difficulty with. But so why don't you tell us what you think about the website and what it's done for you and all that,
Well, the first thing it's done is it's built my confidence. And that's hands down. It's built my confidence. Like when I was searching for my grays, I knew not to get one with red. And before, I didn't know that. And you saw the first gray that I had. He was full of red. Now I like where I'm at. The hen has some red, but anyways, we'll get into that later. I like the fact that if you start at the training, the training section, and read and get all that in your head, by the time you get to the programs that you have laid out, you know what you're doing, or you should have a good idea.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. It reminds me of my contractors class, how I can get on their website and get what I need and get the knowledge and be ready to take that test.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and Frank says the same thing. It's similar to like an online university. It's set up the way you would do a class.
Very close. Very close.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But the only difference is I'm not expecting a lot out of you as far as participation. So there's no deadlines. There's no
grading.
I'm not grading you or judging you. I'm not making you take a test.
No, but here's the thing. You're not grading them, but they're grading themselves, because by what they've learned and their knowledge that they have now, they can go out there and they can look at their chickens and go, yep, no, I'm going to cull you, things like that. So that's what's really good about the website that I like.
Nancy's right. Nancy's right, because, on my online classes, there's days I go in there, I don't want to be in there, for whatever reason. And on those days, you really don't learn. With the Breeders' Academy, you go in when you want to, you learn when you want to. And I think you do better by learning when it's on your terms rather than somebody else's.
There's no deadlines. There's no falling behind, no catching up. And we have things set up in multiple formats, and we're doing it more and more all the time. So you've got the text, you've got the audios, you've got the videos, we're trying to do that all across the board. So,
right. Exactly. And it's not just it's not just locked into chickens either. It's breeding. Mm-hmm. That's what I like. It's you can breed. You could take this format that you've created and use it almost on anything.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I
mean, I understand that you use chickens because that's what you breed. That's your knowledge. But if you wanted to breed anything, you could take this format and you could do it, hands down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And one of the things that I found interesting was when he got in there, I think Chase was a little skeptical at first, and I think he wanted some confirmation, and he was telling me about when he took the basic outline of the founders program, and you showed it to a horse breeder. Remember what he said?
Yeah, it was a she, and she's like, "That's what we do. We just don't go that close." And since we're not breeding chickens, we have a lot more females than you guys would.
Yeah, but the basic format was the same.
It was the same. All the processes, the ways you go about it, they're all the same.
Because there's a lot of people out there that they're domestic chicken breeders, and they know I'm mostly into gamefowl. Okay, so they go, well, it doesn't work for domestic chickens. And then you got gamefowl breeders who see that it's for everybody, and then they go, well, if it's for everybody, then it's not for gamefowl. And they don't realize that this is breeding is breeding. It doesn't matter what you're breeding. And Chase saw it. You see all my books over here on breeding, whether you're looking at chicken breeding, poultry breeding, or just regular animal breeding, they all say the same thing, and it works for everybody, because it does. The only thing that's different is the species may be different, but in the traits that you're selecting for and for the purpose for what they're bred may be different, but breeding is breeding. It's all the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I like is it. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but the KISS, keep it simple, stupid. That's it.
Yeah. That's a good motto. That's a good motto.
There's the one step in your process that you put in there. That's the light bulb that all of us have said. That's it. That's how you do it. That's how you keep this going.
And it's a lot of people think that it's you might get in there, it's a little difficult. They might not understand it. It could be complicated. They feel like they're going to get lost. And I really do. I do everything I can to make it as simple as it can be, and if I see any complications or a member goes, oh, I can't figure out how to do this, I can't find this, I don't understand that. And I think it was Beeman that said the same thing. I get in there and I try to fix it, because that's the last thing I want. I want people to understand exactly how to do it. So,
well, I want to pat Chase on the back for a moment. And
for getting his jumper cables, or
well, no, not that. For actually helping me and you.
Thanks, Kenny.
for helping me and you out.
I needed jumper cables, by the way. So,
on the live show, we asked the question, or one of the members asked the question that we couldn't clone a particular hen or a rooster, remember?
Yeah.
And we were going through all these remedies, back and forth. And Chase comes up and says, okay, you're trying to create the same phenotype. And that was the question. And I said, leave it to one of the members. That showed right there he was doing his homework.
Well, that's what makes me feel good too, because, and I know Chase is ready to say something, but I got to say this is, when I'm on Facebook or when we're doing the live show and things like that, or I see some conversations going and they're going deep into the breeding, and or let's put it this way, when I post something like a survey, I can see people reacting to it, and some of them are lost. They don't get it, or they say the wrong things, but it's always the members who get in there and know exactly what to say. And you know what? That makes me feel so good, because it feels like they're just not in there just messing around and they're not learning anything. They're actually learning something. They're absorbing something. This is things, Chase, this is something that's going to last your whole life. You know what I mean? You're going to take it with you.
Oh yeah, forever. And that's what I like about it. That's what I was looking for. Is you want to put the time in to create this strain. You want to build your pins. You want to feed them. That stuff adds up. And if you want to keep mama happy, you better produce something that's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said something that was interesting last night, in that your impression of what you thought, how do I say this? Your perception of what you thought the website was going to be like, and then you got in there, it was completely different. You thought it was going to be cartoons and videos, and tell me about that.
I thought it was going to be Chicken College for Dummies. I thought it was going to be like, here, take this cartoon and follow it along, and then end up at point B cartoon. I forgot the guy's name who used to draw those cartoons back in the day, like the two wagons that hit in the middle of nowhere. And I thought it was going to be like something like that, and then just follow my videos. But no, you have put the work in. It's all there. If you put the time in to read and you guide us along, that you're there with us the whole time. That's the one thing I want to stress to a lot of people, is that you are there to actually contact, and you like that. You want us to contact you and give us our input and tell us your stories, or tell our stories to you. And so that way, where we're at.
Those coaching calls help so much. They help you guys, they help us. They give me insight on where a lot of my members are. I get to look at, a lot of my members are turning out to be my friends. I've gained a lot of friends just from the members alone, especially the ones that I contact, or they contact me more and more. And they let me know about the website, where their snags are. I mean, a lot of the improvements that have occurred on the website, the changes that I made, is because the members told me about it. They made that request, or they showed me there was an issue, so I went in and fixed it. So I say it all the time in the live show, that your questions and your comments really shape the show. Well, I believe the same thing with the website. Your comments and your questions and those kind of things, they really shape the website. Because you said, I don't know how long you've been in there, but some of these guys have been in here since the beginning. They've been in there for 4 years, and it's changed so much since then, just because of that.
It's changed since I've been in there, and I think I've been in for maybe a year, 2 years, maybe.
Wow.
So it's changed a lot just in that time.
Just in the last 4 months, it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Just in the 4 months.
Yeah.
It really has.
Well, the one thing that I like about Chase is he's been able to utilize the website probably better than a lot of other people, because he's local, and he's gotten a few of your birds that we didn't charge him for anything like that. It's like, hey, you're a member.
You got lucky,
there you go.
buddy.
We got a trio
lucky.
for you. And he's local. He can come over and visit with Kenny and talk chickens and all that good stuff.
Well, Nancy and I talk about it all the time, and we want to get to the point when we're traveling and we're hitting people's farms and visiting
in the future,
them.
Yeah,
it is. We talk about it all the time. I'm planning on, as soon as the prices of plane tickets go down, I'm going to go back to Kentucky. That was maybe my only regret, is that we didn't get to visit some of the farms while I was there. We had a good time. We looked over your town and everything. I had a blast.
You tried to.
We tried a couple times. I think one, yeah. And so I'm going to go back and we're going to visit some farms, and I'm looking forward to that. And then I've visited 2 or 3 here in my area. So if you're in driving distance, I'm happy to come, and we just got to schedule it, of course, come and visit with you, help you maybe select some brood fowl, sit down, talk about breeding. And if you let me video your farm, great. If not, that's okay too. If you want to sit down, do a podcast while I'm there, that's great too. Chase has good questions, and he's got some good insights. And I want to sit down with him again and do another podcast, because the first time we did it, it got messed up. And I was really sad, because we had some really good discussion. Whether I go to his farm, he comes up to here, but we do need to sit down and do a podcast together. That's for sure.
Well, this is going to be where you giving me those birds. You're going to hate me now. And it's because,
why is that?
Because the interview is going to be, why do I do this? Why?
No, I'm okay with
great.
that. You know,
that's what he's there for.
That's what I'm here for.
Why?
Hey, yeah. I've done seminars and get-togethers and group sittings, and I'll tell you, I enjoy sitting there or standing there or whatever you want to call it, teaching my curriculum, because I'm excited about what I want to share. Okay. But I'll tell you, I have the most fun when they start asking me questions. That's when I have the most fun. So those whys help me, because I feed on that. I feed on it, face-to-face stuff, talking with you, that kind of question. I mean, I'll tell you, if the live show, let's put it this way, I would have a blast if all we did was Q&As. But there's 2 problems with that I'm afraid that the questions are going to dry up, because people are nervous to ask the questions, for one thing, or they're going to always want to know what the nuts and bolts are of the Founders Program or the Breeders Academy. And I'll tell you, I feel so bad when I can't talk about that on the live show. Frank and we talk about all the time how much of a bummer it is. And I think that's why we're both excited about the Masters Class video series, because now we can get in there and talk deep. And I know Chase likes the Masters Class videos too.
Those are the fun. Those and think about it is, man, Kenny's got to remind herself sometimes. Yeah. We'll be doing a show and we'll remind each other, hey, we can talk about this now. Oh, okay.
It's getting easier.
We forget. Yeah, it is. It's getting much easier.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
Well, another thing about the membership website, if you are a member, we went up and saw John's farm a couple weekends ago, and he lives up in Paris, and that's an hour and a half away or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're getting charged extra for us to go do that. You're a member. If it's feasible and we can do it, we're going to go visit you, and we're going to go help you select your brood fowl and chat and have a good time.
Yeah.
Visit you. So
it is a good time. Whenever I hang out with the Trianos, I have a great time. That's the truth.
You're in good hands. You're in good hands.
Yeah. I didn't realize how late I was. I got home and my wife was like, could have gave a call at least about dinner. I'm like,
yeah. I've heard those.
Thought you'd been kidnapped.
Yeah. We got going.
Yeah, it was dark. It was pitch dark by the time we got going. By the time he left, but I tell a lot of people are asking me for birds for sale. I just don't sell birds anymore. But if I have birds available, I've made up my mind that I'm going to give them to my members. I just can't ship them. You have to come pick them up. So I did give some to Chase, and I'm really excited to see how these things progress and how he does, because you know how it is, Frank. I could give him my best birds, and in 10 years, his strain's going to maybe look a little different than mine just because of his selection. And why I'm interested in this is because he's a member of the Breeders Academy. He's learning what he needs to learn. And so from that, I can't wait to see how his fowl progresses. Yeah. With the knowledge that he has now. Now he can, if he wants me to, I'll go down and I'll help him select brood fowl. We can do that. I have no problem.
Yeah, we should do something here again. As soon as I get it done, I was down there today, actually literally all day, and I got a couple more pins finished. As soon as I get it done, but I want to get everything painted and done to where it's like nice. and then we can do.
You're trying to show it off, right?
What's that?
You're trying to show it off. You want to look its best
you
when I
nailed
come
it right
back
there
down.
on the button. Yes, sir.
Get him some work.
Yeah. The questions I'm going to have are going to be, because you gave me the birds, and basically I can either do one process or another process, and why would we do this process, or why not jump ahead, and why not just start from the start of this one?
Yep.
Yeah, those are going to be my questions that I have for you.
Well, the best thing about it is you got Kenny, you got the Founders Program, you've got the website. So the best thing is you're not going to have to go back to Kenny in 3 to 5 years and say, hey, Kenny, I need some more of those birds. I messed them up. You're not going to have to do that.
Right. That's the ticket right there.
Yeah.
And that's what the Academy's about. Is it sets you up. You set us up for success right from the start. You're there, start here page, follow that, get to the Founders Program, do what you need to do, and you're going to be going right where you want to be. And that's where I'm at. You're saving me time even on my daughter's project, because now I already know which ones to get rid of right from the start. As soon as they're hatched, okay, those ones I don't need those.
And if they
one
fail,
more thing, go ahead.
If they fail with the Founders Program and Kenny's help, I hate to say it, they didn't try hard.
It doesn't work.
You have no words.
Well, when they communicate with Kenny at that point, and that's what the Breeders Academy is about, is they have Frank and Kenny right there. We could contact you guys and be set right on the track.
Hey, Chase, we'll blame it on Frank, okay?
Hey, I'll take it, guys. No problem. I'll take it. I'll take one for the team.
Can I tell everybody what we're planning with your pen making thing? And okay, good. He's building his pens. He's going to help me a little bit around my farm, and we're going to video, take pictures and everything, and then he's going to put together a curriculum on how to build pens and that kind of thing. So that'll all be on the website. We'll have him come on, we'll do a podcast and a live show, and take it a step farther. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
That'd be awesome.
And that's where you going to you guys going to their farms and filming their farms and us seeing their pens would help, because then I could correlate that into it too. I could get ideas. I mean, the more the Academy gets together and does this stuff, the better it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Any more questions for Chase before we let him go?
No, I think we're
That's
good.
it. Chase, you have anything you want to say before we let you go?
Have fun and join the Academy. It's going to set you where you need to be. It's going to give you confidence. It did me.
Yeah. Cool. I appreciate it, Chase.
Yeah. Well, I found you through the Bred to Perfection podcast. Somebody had actually recommended it in one of my various chicken groups, and I was blown away. It was exactly what I was looking for. At the time, that was before I found the Academy, of course, but I started listening, and right away I went from the very first episode and listened to all of them. And I just went,
that dreaded first episode.
Hey,
it was good.
Yeah, I did get better, and I keep telling Nancy, we need to get that thing off of there. And she goes, no, it shows how we progress. I go, well, it does
true.
That,
Absolutely.
That's true.
But what I really, I'm pretty good at, looking for information, seeking out people that know more than me. And right away, listening to your show, I went, oh, wow. Okay. I've hit a gold mine here. This is somebody I can learn from. And it just went from there. I joined the Academy. You've got great stuff on there. My favorite part is the coaching calls. I can feel better in my, I'm very early in breeding. I've had chickens for a long time, but, I'm just now starting to learn how to breed and genetics and culling and all that stuff. But I love the fact that I don't have to worry. I can go, okay, before I do this, or I'm concerned about that, let me do a coaching call. And so, it takes the anxiety out of all of it.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I want.
Yeah. You're not left alone.
Yeah. Because if you're feeling lost and confused, you're not going to stick around, for one thing, and I just don't want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it pulls the person back from the edge. If they go to the edge of that cliff and they're getting ready to give it up, a lot of times they can be pulled back, and rebooted.
Well, and especially, I have a couple of actual breeds, but I'm also developing my own. And so it's one thing to have a breed and try to, better it towards a breed standard. It's another thing to go from complete genetic soup and try to create something. So it's been very helpful to go, Kenny, help.
Yeah. And that's the nice thing about it. You can perpetuate a certain strain or a certain breed, but you can create your own too, and knowing some of the principles of the Founders Program, it's all laid out for you. It doesn't matter what you're breeding or what your purpose is or what you're trying to do. The Founders Program is going to get you there. So
and one thing that has been very helpful for me, especially very early in my breeding program, is learning about defects. And I really have listened to you with your 0 defect policy. If I'm starting a brand new strain, I don't want to start with problems. I don't want to breed in defects. But man, that's hard.
Yeah, it is tough. It's the hardest part.
It's so hard when you have a bird, you've been growing it up and you've been looking at it and you're making plans about it. And then you go, oh no.
Yeah. What I tell people is when you do kind of fall in love with certain birds. Okay. And if they're not going to fit your breeding program, then just put them in another pet pen, that kind of thing, that's what you got to do.
Give it a name.
Yeah. Give it a name. Give it a name.
Exactly.
That's a dread.
Yeah.
And Frank,
I hate the ones.
Frank, I have to say thank you to you. I know there's been a lot of times I've shot you a message and asked a question, and you've always been so helpful and so nice. Both you and Kenny, I really appreciate it. I've always felt welcomed, and even though I'm working with mutts and not fowl or whatever.
Hey, that excites me actually. I like that.
You've got some great looking birds,
cool.
though.
Yeah,
you got some great looking birds. You do. You've got I've told you many times. You've got an eye on you for selection. Out of the birds I've seen, you've really got an eye. You do.
Yeah, and I'm, Karen actually just visited my farm, and one of the comments she made was, "Wow, I expected you to have a lot more birds than you had," and I'll tell you, I pull hard.
Yeah,
that's a good
girl.
If it's not exactly what I'm looking for, it gets sold as a pet. And that's something, Kenny, I have to thank you for. I learned that in your podcast and on the Breeders Academy. If it's not exactly what I'm looking for, it goes down the road.
Yeah.
So
good girl.
No I'm the same way.
Yeah, no sense in keeping it. And I put a lot of money towards feed and nutrition and care and housing, and I can't just keep it around just because it's pretty.
If it doesn't have a purpose, it's got to go. You know what I mean? It's got to have a place in my breeding program. Definitely.
Exactly. Now, I'll admit I do have some eye candy out there, but
yeah, just like her. That's her thing. She doesn't have them now, but she will again.
Yeah.
She had some eye candy stuff, and the raccoon decided to cull them for her.
Yeah, he did.
Raccoon ate some candy then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I was out. I don't know where I was. I was across the country doing seminar somewhere, and she calls me up. I was actually sitting with Pat Foreman, the chicken tractor lady. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we were talking, and then she calls me up early in the morning and says, "You won't believe this, a raccoon's eating my chickens," and it pretty much ate one at a time until I got home, and then it disappeared.
Yeah,
they can do the damage. They can do the damage.
Yeah. And she saw it. She tried to bat it away with a broom. So
yeah, it was big. 2 o'clock in the morning. It was big.
I had that big bobcat do me. That same way. Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't charge. I wouldn't challenge a mountain lion. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go out of the house with a mountain lion.
No
way.
Yeah. So Rebecca, when you first got in there, did you feel lost at all? What was your first impression when you first got in there? And first of all, how long have you been in there? How long of a?
I think I've been a member maybe about 8 months.
Okay.
Give or take. And no, I think it's laid out pretty well. It's pretty easy to find what I'm looking for. I love the quick start guide, kind of things where I can just, real quick. It's like I want to just double check something before I do something. I can go in and look at the defects or something like that. And but yeah, I think it's laid out great. I wish there was a little bit more involvement in the forums. I think somebody else had mentioned that before. That would be neat to be able to connect with people a little better. But it is fun, in various chicken groups to find a member here and there too.
Yeah. And I try to get the forums going, and I kind of want to be separate from that. I kind of want that to be the members thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what it's going to take to get the forums going, because I think here's what's killing the forums, if you ask me. Facebook. They can do it there.
Yeah.
And it's easier. The forums, it's laid out pretty nice. It's not too bad, but it seems like everybody I've talked to that said they don't use the forums because they just go to Facebook,
Right.
And so, but
because they're already there.
Yeah, they're always on it, and everybody, they know who they want to talk to. But my biggest thing is, because I almost took the forums off of there, is that I want to have as much as I can in almost every page a way for you to get a hold of me, for one thing. Okay. And then I want you to be able to contact Frank or I and do like a coaching call and things like that. So
Right.
And
whenever you need.
Yeah. And if you have a question, because I try to get in there every night before I go to bed and answer a bunch of questions, that type of thing. So I try to stay on top of that, make sure everybody's getting their questions answered.
For me, what I think I get the most out of, I love the podcast and the master classes. I do a lot of driving, and so I can pop those on and listen to them while I drive and dream about my future projects. And so I love the podcast. There's a lot of really good information there.
So how would you compare the master's class video series to the live show we do and the podcast?
I haven't listened. I've listened to one of the master's class, so I don't have a whole lot of be able to judge too much on that. The live show, I don't. I like it. I like the banter back and forth, and it's a lot more relaxed. But I don't find I get as much information out of it. And I like those podcasts. I really feel like you dig down in, especially Nancy. I love you in the podcast. You always ask the question I am thinking, and you keep digging.
I do.
Yeah, the proof is right here on my head. The gray hairs I got,
So I love that. I like, I feel like I get to know you guys a little better in the live show. But I really like the information I dig out of the podcast.
Yeah. And we hold back on the podcast too. A lot of people don't know that. I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't need to join the Breeders' Academy because I'm going to just re-engineer." They don't use those words, but they just get what they can from the podcast.
Sure.
And I think that's what they think. They're going to re-engineer everything so they can figure out how like the Founders Program works and things like that. So, but we reluctantly hold back. We hate it, actually. And I think that's why Frank and I are having such a good time with the Master's Class video series, because we go in deep,
or even these.
Yeah.
A few. I've been saving those for when I can actually sit down and watch them versus driving and missing something. So I look forward to watching those.
Those need to be watched. They can be listened to, but you need to watch them because there's a lot of information I pop up on the screen as we're talking.
Right.
Kind of go with it. Yeah. So.
A lot of the listeners thought me and Kenny was giving all on the live show. So, they were like, well, I've got the live show. I don't need the website because I listen to the live show every day. And then we don't discuss nothing compared to the website. I mean,
the way I look at the live show is I teach them, I show them the importance of breeding, but I don't show them how to breed exactly.
Yeah. Right.
And I skirt it. I kind of just skirt it. Whereas if they go into the Breeders' Academy, they're going to learn how. Okay. So everything I do with the podcast and the live show is to get people excited about breeding, and then maybe give it a try, because like one of the other members was saying, we give if you quit, you can quit anytime And if you quit within the first 30 days, they give you money back. You have a money back guarantee. So there's nothing to lose to just at least give it a try, you know?
And there's nothing like it. Nothing.
Right. Yeah, I love the fact that it's kind of my one stop. You know, I've got books and, you know, there's Google and there's, you know, for whatever, but I know that I can go there and find whatever information I need in one place, and that it's truthful. It's not just, you know, somebody's uneducated opinion on Facebook.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've had people ask me, how come you don't get this breeder on? How come you don't get that breeder on? How come you don't get more breeders? And that's been the problem all along, is to find someone that I like the information they're going to provide, that they're actually true breeders. And Rebecca has said numerous times that she likes the guests we have because they're real professionals, like Dr. Gallardo, Peter Brown, things like that. I'm not going to mess around. If I have you on the show, it's because I really respect you and the knowledge you have, and that you're going to give my members the knowledge they need. So that's what I look for. That's a criteria. So some of these breeders I'll interview or I'll talk with, and they start talking about best of the best, things like that, or
out of here.
That's it. You know, I don't say it like that, but I'm like, okay,
add blood.
Not, what's that? Add blood. Oh yeah, I just breed to 7/8 and then I infuse new blood. You know, or the 1/16
especially in any kind of live format.
Yeah. Well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We've talked about this. Man, Kenny has talked about, you know, having other breeders on and everything. And, you know, you may talk to a couple of them. And then, you know, I told Kenny, I said, you realize if we put them on there and their listeners is listening to what they're saying, they're thinking that we're condoning it, you know? So we have to watch what we put on there.
And that's right. And I don't want to make a fool out of them. I don't want to make them look bad. So it's not my intention. When I bring someone on my show, my mind's thinking, okay, we're interviewing you, but you're the expert. I'm not going to challenge you. I'm not going to make you look bad. And you're going to just share your information. And that's how I look at it, you know? So, but when I think that they don't have that, then they're not going to come on the show. So, and it's bad enough that there's shows out there, and I don't want to, I know everybody's trying their best and they're doing the best they can. But there are some people out there teaching things that I have, and this is where I get upset, is where they'll say something on their show, and then one of my members will come up and so said this. What do you think of that? Is that true? Then I got to go and I got to reteach this member. I got to undo everything that guy did, because I want them to I want them to learn it and absorb it the way I want them on the website, you know, because I think that's the way to do it. And so then I got to unteach them. And if you notice on my Facebook page, it's the same way. I don't really allow people to come on and be teachers themselves.
Right.
I have a lot of control on that thing, because I want the narrative to be what I want it to be. I want them to learn the way I want them to learn. And so that's a battle I'm fighting with all the time.
Sure.
You know? Yeah.
Just don't want to create confusion for the members.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that is frustrating when I have to reteach the members because they heard something from somebody else. You know,
you make a dozen that hears the same thing. That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
That's a lot of work. Two's a lot of work. But
I was talking to one guy who was on my Facebook page, and he was giving information and everything in the comments, and I had to have a talk with him. I says, please, I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to help everybody. I get that, but please don't do that. You know, I don't need someone teaching over me. And he's like, I'm just trying to help people. And he kept going back and forth. I says, okay, no, you're not helping anybody. You're confusing them. You need to stop what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because you're making my job harder, and I'm not now going to have to go and reteach everything. So if it's out there and people are reading it, like I posted something on Facebook one time, it was a comment about inbreeding, and there must have been 100 comments after that. You know, some questions, but some people telling others what they know or what they've been doing this whole time. And I basically had to turn it off because they were the narrative or the information they were providing was so off that I felt like I had to go in there and reteach everybody. Had to go back in there and just that was 2 days of me not getting my work done. And I finally said, okay, enough of this. I'm just getting rid of it, you know. So
yeah, we was talking about it. I told Kenny, I said, if I was you, I just get rid of it.
That's when I did it. I said, okay,
yeah. And he said,
yeah,
it was crazy.
Yep. Well, I will say, whenever I see something like that in another group, I don't try to argue with people. I always post a link to one of your podcast episodes.
Good for you.
You know, I've always said it. Rebecca's one of my best promoters. I love her to death.
She is.
She's brought in some members. She's a big supporter of what we do. I love it. I think you're great.
No,
Thank you
She
so
is.
much.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hey, thanks for providing good information.
Oh, we're having a blast. Frank and I both, and Nancy.
Yeah.
You know, we're all having a good time.
It's been great.
Definitely.
It's been great.
So anything you guys want to ask her before we let her go?
Just real quick. So we were talking a little bit about the coaching calls. How is it for you, you know, the fact that you can set up a coaching call with Kenny or even Frank anytime you want. And it's not like, okay, you got that one coaching call. That's all you get. You can have a zillion coaching calls. It doesn't matter.
Well, you know, one of the things that I've told Kenny in the past is I like that I am paying for the academy. And the reason why is, you know, I don't feel guilty when I, you know, send Kenny a message or Frank a message or have a coaching call, because I feel like I've paid for their time. I'm not using them for trying to get free information. So, you know, it makes me feel a little better on that. And I love the fact that anytime I've said, Kenny, I have a question, and he's like, let's do a coaching call. And we get it booked. And Frank's been the same way. We were going to schedule one, and then I got it figured out. But I love that. I love having professionals that know what they're doing at my fingertips to help me out.
Well, there's two things about that people should know. First of all, people who want things for free, they don't pay, they don't use the information, they don't apply it, they don't put the work in. Okay. So they take it for granted and they don't do anything. And the second thing is everybody says, oh, I love your podcast. I probably won't join the Breeders' Academy, but I love your podcast. And they don't realize that if the Breeders' Academy isn't doing well, those podcasts and live shows go away. They just do, because those are the marketing arms of my business, and we're only doing them because of the Breeders' Academy. So if the Breeders' Academy go away, so does the podcast, you know. So I'll go find something else to do.
That's funny she brings that up, though. When I first started doing the coaching call, when I first started doing the show with Kenny, I'd have people call me up and say, oh yeah, you know, I'm a member, but it'd be on Messenger. So I'd say, okay, contact me inside the Breeders' Academy. And they never would. And they'd keep contacting me on Messenger. But they'd say, I'm in Kenny's group, but his group page, they thought that was the website, or they pretend to be a member to get answers that they wanted, you know. So we had a hard time with that at first.
And I still think we do sometimes, because I think some people get on my groups page, my Facebook page, and they think that is the Breeders' Academy.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how to get it through to them that there's actually a Breeders' Academy website. I mean, the Facebook page is one of my marketing arms. That's what I use it for. So I'm not sure what to do about that. But when he became a coach, I told him, I go, obviously, look how much work Frank does. Okay, I'm going to give him a free membership, obviously, because he's now a partner of mine. And I told Frank, I go, now I'm going to give you free membership. I mean, because of all the work you're doing, you're great, but do not stop going in there and learning, because that's my fear. I told you, when people don't pay, they don't apply. Okay. They don't go in there and learn. They stop doing things. Okay. And I told them to promise me that you'll keep using the website. You know what I mean? I see them in there all the time. So it makes me
you want to
feel
get
good.
your money worth out. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.